So what year do you get locked up?
It was 2002.
2000.
No, take that like that was 2003.
Okay. Can you walk us through that day?
It was crazy. They had a takedown. You know, once I figured it out.
What's a takedown?
You know, back then, you know, it was a surveillance. You know,
Okay.
Investigated me for a while. And I was leaving out of house in Decatur. I had a house in Decatur. I was
where in Decatur?
Out Boulder Crest.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a spot. I had a spot in Decatur. I thought I was slick. If a nigga set me up in Atlanta, right, he can't bring the Red Dog or police to the County.
Do you know Booby and Tony?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a spot. I had a spot, like a little house I kept work at there, but we was on this side of town. Then I had the barbershop up on Simpson for a lot of years, up on Chapel Road. It was called the Mount Barbershop.
Yeah.
Right on the corner of Chapel and Simpson. Right across from the laundromat.
You slipped like Atlanta royalty to one degree or another. Yeah, I remember that, bro.
Yep, where everybody used to be at.
Yeah.
Right there. Right next to the Taste Out.
Damn.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, damn. This we're gonna have to have a part 2 and a part 3, bro. That's a whole lot of stuff. All right, so they watching you, and it's not federal, but it's state. But the state.
So it was a hider. So what it was, Atlanta got it was a hider unit. So it could either go either or, right? It depends on. So what I had learned about the hustle game, since we want to talk about the hustle game,
yeah.
All these niggas are snitches, right? You know what I mean? Like, and that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think if you get caught with a kilo cocaine in Atlanta, if you get out, you informant.
Simple as that.
I couldn't get out, right? I couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, and it was amazing to me, like, cause I was thinking I can, you know what I mean, get a lawyer. My lawyer gonna, you know, get me a bond. And cause I ended up using Daniel Kane.
Okay.
Every lawyer I ran across, every lawyer came to see me because I was kind of like upset with it. And the only thing they could tell me was, you got to give them something in order to help yourself.
These your paid lawyers telling you this?
Yeah. These lawyers everybody know telling me this. And I was like, and you know, I had my mama. She didn't raise me, but you know, she's tough. She tough. She like Stone Cold said, she a tough SOB.
Yeah.
She like, nigga, you ain't gonna do, nigga, that. And, you know, and I had my grandma always told me, like, if you did the crime, be accountable and, you know what I mean, do what you had to do.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't your job to bring nobody down with you.
Yeah.
You did it, take the consequences. You know, I didn't ever get out. You know what I mean? They sent me, them motherfuckers even put me with, they started hitting me in other counties with other charges.
Based on the testimony of somebody else? Or because
and then they knew my relationship. They said you could have brought down a lot of people,
and
a lot of your brothers.
Not to.
Yeah, I chose not to. And that's the fact. You know, you can pull me up, look at me. I sat down and, you know, and so I say then, God was over me. Now I realize it was all God. It wasn't man.
Yeah.
Because I had some evil stuff in me that I was going to do. And I think God had to set me down. You know, and he set me down. He made it drastic, but he made it happen the way it was supposed to happen. Because I could be seeing him doing like 3-4 life sentences.
Yeah.
Because like when that happened with my cousin, like I just had blank. You know, I was just on the terror.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to terrorize people, families until
you felt better.
Until I felt better.
Yeah.
And I still don't feel better. You know, I still want them niggas, goddamn it, burn. If they in jail, I want them niggas burn them.
What prison do you end up going to?
I did a lot of prisons. I ended up doing about 6 or 7 prisons. I transferred every year because I didn't want to get
troublemaker.
No. So so now I'm a grown ass, mature ass hustler. I had it good. So let me say this. Crazy as this gonna sound. My life in prison went so easy, it was scary. Because I've been in the streets, but I didn't realize I've been in the streets my whole life.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've been in the streets your whole life, like if you've really been in the streets and you've really been in Atlanta, when I got into prison in the system, everybody looked out for me. Every camp I went to was too easy. Like I knew the whole campus. And they just, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was just, it was easy. It was easy everywhere. It was so easy. I was just transferring myself. I put in for a transfer because I didn't want to be. I was getting too complacent, and I felt like in life I started training myself. I said, "Wow, I got too complacent hustling." And when you get too complacent, you let your guards down. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to go every month. I transfer. Every 8 months I put in for a transfer. About 14 months I'm gone. You know, my fee used to be like, "Nigga, you crazy. You got it too good down here."
Yeah.
You know, and I had phones, because phones weren't in the prison system. They had just started coming in the system.
Yeah.
I was leaving phones, good situations, starting over. So that was
Just like that.
Just like
it's a different mentality. You want to know what that dope boy mentality was. Things that seem desirable by others, it's kind of like I ain't even entertained by that.
They entertainment, because I ain't have to be. You know, I had a lot of these guys. You know, like what I learned in prison is a lot of people like superheroes. There's a lot of superheroes in prison. They never was doing nothing on the streets. You know, their mama didn't let them out the porch, because it take a certain kind of individual. Like I can say to myself, I'm a 40-year proven veteran, stamped veteran on this Simpson Road.
Yeah.
Especially on this end.
Yeah.
On this Dix Hill end of Simpson Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't put in the work over here.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't never left it, and I ain't gonna never leave it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't put in the work to bring it respect.
So throughout that 7 years, do you think that you picked something up, or was it just a rest stop for you? When I say pick something up, like mentally or emotionally, even spiritually, did you pick anything up?
I think at that point, God didn't start working me, but I think He came into my life from all the prayer my grandma was doing to me,
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
I didn't pick nothing up. I tell you now that I can sit back, I think God was sparing my life. Because like when I got out, it wasn't 6 months when I was out. Them guys that killed my cousin got locked up. They had them deal a double homicide in this county. They had them deal a double homicide in that county. They shot somebody here, but my cousin case was the strongest case. And I think it had been brewing before I hit the streets. And when I got out, it was perfect leverage ground. They came to me, and they was like, so this was the DA was telling me, and the prosecutor. She said, "Bojack, when you hit the street, people start cooperating with us. These facts."
Just like that.
Just like
y'all
that.
got to get him up out of here.
She was like, as soon as you got released, people start cooperating. She said, when you hit the streets, she said people wouldn't testify against them about your cousin. So she said we couldn't build a case, and your cousin had the strongest case. Because, you know what I mean, he just had the strongest case. He could have nailed him. And she was like, we was trying, but she was like, soon as you hit the streets, she said, these facts. She said we was using it as a leverage. She said either you gonna talk to us, or we gonna tell Bojack that you went talk to us about his cousin getting killed. And we gonna let y'all deal with him, because y'all know he out now.
It changes. So I'm gonna put a pause in there right now. So what I've known and was evident is that you have a strong degree of respect in Atlanta, period.
I do.
How does that change the dynamic of having a movement like this? Because somebody from the mayor's office could have a bright idea and some posters, but they ain't got the respect. They ain't got the notoriety that you got. What does that mean to a community like this? A person who was once, I ain't gonna say bad in the neighborhood, but wasn't bringing out the best in the neighborhood. And now you coming around and saying, hey man, this would need to really take place. What's the difference between you and a random trying to, with this movement?
It's so crazy you say that. It's a big difference.
Okay.
First, let me go back a little to come forward. This time last year, because we're still in October, I had this big old party in Miami, right? My 50th, right? 200 people from Atlanta showed up. We tore up Miami. We just had a ball down. My mind wasn't never on this. My mind wasn't on a non-profit. It wasn't on no helping a motherfucker. It wasn't on none of this kind of stuff. I don't know, but what I had been doing consistent, I had been going. So what I had started doing was I started going to Bible study on Tuesdays. So I had been going to Bible study maybe before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
I was creeping in Bible study. And it was so crazy, like, they didn't know I was a Williams, right? Because my whole family in the church. But
Okay.
I creeping out, because I wanted people to know me for me, not my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I crept to church, and I used to always tell them. So at this point, I learned relationships with a lot of people in the church. Because we'll go out to eat, 4th Sunday, and just... So I was like, I ain't gonna go to church yet. I ain't even ready to go to church yet. So I go to Bible study. They said, you gonna come to church? I'm like, no, I ain't coming to church yet. God was working on me. Even once I started going to church, I started going like once a month. But it took me a while. But prior to that, I used to always tell them, pastor, deacons, I don't never see y'all in the community, right? We got to get in the community, right? And so at that point, I started going to church regularly. But my mind wasn't on none of this. So then I spearheaded the outreach ministry. So I started the Evangelist Bertha Williams Outreach Ministry.
You said Bertha Williams.
My grandma.
Okay, so everything, you stay lifting her up. You stay, no, for real, bro. I respect that. That's respect right there, bro. And you light up, bro. I don't know if you realize, but you light up, bro. You light up. And it's kind of like you doing good. Like she may not be watching you, but she paying attention to what's going on, and you subconsciously want the approval. You want her to know that work was not, it wasn't empty. Like I got what you were trying to get.
Yeah, I believe, like, I feel as you get older, your life changes.
Okay.
And I think in life you disappoint people. And I think my life, I don't know. I think I try to make her better.
Yeah. It makes sense, bro. It makes sense. It makes sense.
To this day, she don't want to still break me down.
Yeah. It's evident too, bro. It's evident, bro. But a lot of people don't have them. We don't have grandmamas no more, bro.
We don't. And that wasn't wrong. So we had grandmamas when I grew up. And, grandmamas was, you can't explain a grandmama. We had grandmamas, and they had another kind of love. They had prayer. They made you feel safe. They didn't judge you. They didn't turn on you. If they was, if they had $10 in their pocket, they gonna give you 10 and they're sitting there hungry. They had another kind, and they not only love their kids, grandkids, but they love their kids' friends.
Yeah.
They love their community. When we had them grandmamas, we had open door policies.
Yeah.
You can go in grandmama's house and you be like, let's say you getting into it with a neighbor or a friend you grew up with, and she was strong enough to correct both of you guys. And it was a better effect than me and you. We used to try to problem solve in Atlanta. This my partner, nigga. You should be doing this. But then the grandmamas can sit in there because both parties respected grandmamas.
Yeah.
We go in there and she'd be like, listen. And we can be gangsters, we can be killers, we can be swole. And both parties just break down like kids.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, mama. And we missed that. It was a different kind of. And I think
fix your plate after y'all go in there and eat.
Yeah. And I better not hear about this no more.
It won't.
You won't hear about it. It was another kind of love. I think that's what's missing on this side of town. We just missing that word being resonated into people's lives. So I think sometimes you got to resonate certain words. When people go wrong, you say God, but then you say your grandmama, and then you tell the person, how would your grandmama feel?
That's to the heart right there. That all that macho, all that, you hit to the heart now. You hit to the heart.
So it's been this. I think this building, this movement, been anointed. I can't, if I can tell you, I've been in the street talking about Safe 60. Let's stop the violence in Atlanta. Not only I'm saying it, I'm gonna lead the charge, and I'm gonna go in these neighborhoods with you guys, and I'm gonna stand on the street with you guys. I can't, I had people was telling me, I was getting calls like, man, you shouldn't be doing that. You need to be more safe about it. I don't know about this. And that would make me go harder. Like, I don't got no fear. Like, I feel like this song, like God want me to do. Like when I go to church, I feel like it be talking to me. Some be talking to me in my head. So some been talking to me in my head. And I'm just moving on what's talking to me in my head. You know, I ain't got no strategy about it. I ain't got no fear about it. You know, wherever God lead me, I'm gonna go.